So quick disclaimer, before we get started, whenever I say settings, you go and press this button right here, or you can just make a shortcut like I have done here on the home screen next to the Play Store icon, like so. All right, let's get started. First thing is always keep your device up to date. To do that, go into the settings here, scroll down and get to the point where it says write this software update. Make sure that you click on download and install regularly and you make sure that you are up to date. This is also true for the apps that you have on your device, so make sure that they're always up to date and you have the latest versions of them. To do so, go on to the Play Store, click on your profile here like so, and then go into application, manage apps and devices right here, and then go into updates available, click here, and then just make sure that you have everything up to date by clicking update all like so. Number two is the screen lock. So obviously you don't want anyone to pick up your phone and start using it. So for that, go scroll down, go into settings, scroll down and go here where you see lock screen and AOD, and then make sure that you have a password type, screen lock type. Now let's look in more detail into this, why that is so. So the PIN is okay, but that's like a very medium level security. The best one is the password because you'll have a mix of letters and numbers. I do not recommend the pattern because on the screen people can just see with your oil marks, with your finger marks, what kind of pattern you drew, so that there's a bit of less security there. And the face and the fingerprints, I would not recommend them because someone can just hold it up in front of your face or force your hand to unlock the phone. So my recommendation is always go for the password. So while we're on the lock screen, one other setting that you want to activate is that you want to immediately lock your phone when you press the power button on the side, the physical power button. To do that, you go into secure lock settings, type in your password, and then just make sure that you have this option set, lock instantly with side button. That way you know that your phone is immediately locked as soon as you press it. In case you lose it, anyone who picks it up, they won't be able to make use of it. While we're on this screen, there are three more options that you want to make sure are activated. By default, the auto factory reset will be on, but if it's not, you want to turn that on. That will prevent anyone trying to brute force into your phone to get access to your data, because the phone after the 20th attempt will automatically wipe all the data on the device. The second option that you also want to make sure that you have is a lock network and security. This basically prevents anyone who finds your phone to turn off the location services or the Wi-Fi, thus preventing you to find your mobile through the internet services. Finally, the last option, lockdown option. When you enable this, you'll get the ability to quickly disable biometric unlocking. And basically what happens now that this option is active, if you go into the power button here, if you click here, you see this new option appears called the lockdown mode. And then you just click on lockdown mode. And then normally you will log off. Basically the phone will be locked immediately, and then you won't be able to use your fingerprint or facial recognition. You'll have to put in a PIN or your password, and only then when you'll log into the phone, you'll unlock the phone, will your other biometrics the next time will work again. So now we're going to talk about the SIM card security. To do that, we are going to scroll down and go here, security and privacy. Then go into more security settings right here, and then click on SIM card security. And here you will have your cards, your SIM cards are going to be listed, and you want to make sure that your option here, lock SIM card, is activated. And at that point, you want to also click on change SIM card and make sure that you have a password on it. That way, if someone finds your phone and they take out the SIM card and they want to use your number to call somewhere, they won't be able to do that. And this is also a very important security setting that you want to have. Now we're going to see another very important setting that we have to activate is the access to the clipboard. To do that, go into security and privacy, and then we're going to click on additional privacy controls right here. And what you want to do is that you want to make sure that you have activated this option right here, alert when clipboard is accessed. That way now, if you ever copy sensitive information in your clipboard when you're browsing or using your phone, and if there's some other application that tries to read from your clipboard, you will immediately see a notification telling you that that application tried to access your clipboard and maybe read something that it shouldn't have read. So this is a very important setting. I highly recommend you activate it. This next setting is now specifically for the Samsung devices, and it's to secure end-to-end encryption of the data that goes from your phone into the cloud, where Samsung backs up your data. To activate this, go into security and privacy, scroll down a bit and go into more security settings right here, and then click on enhance data protection. And in the following screen, what you want to make sure is that you want to have both of the options, encrypt backup data and encrypt sync data, to be activated. This way, Samsung will store all of your data that they have on your account and other information points encrypted. That way, in case of a breach, even on the Samsung servers, your data will be encrypted, and then that way there will be a minimal security impact to yourself. Next setting that I'm going to show you is about the internet connection that your phone makes, be it through 3G, 4G, 5G, your GSM data basically, or your Wi-Fi connections. So to activate this, go into connections here, then go into more connection settings, and then in VPN, click here and select whatever VPN provider. If you don't have one, I highly recommend you get one. Now, what does a VPN do? VPN stands for Virtual Private Network, and the key thing with a VPN is that it's specifically very useful for public Wi-Fi. So at the airport or a hotel, and what it will do is that regardless of which kind of hotspot you connect to, it will create an encrypted connection from your phone to your service provider, your VPN provider. And then that way, all connections that your phone will make, so when you're syncing your email, you're exchanging your messages through Telegram, Signal, whatever, or when you're browsing, everything will be encrypted. Now, why you want to use that is because, for example, let's say that you go to some kind of hotel, let's call it Hotel ABC, and you check into the hotel and you want to connect to their Wi-Fi, and you see you do a Wi-Fi scanning, and you'll see an access point called ABC Guest, for example. But if there's a hacker also staying at the hotel and they are trying to capture the guest's data, they might create a hotspot called ABC_guest, and if you're not paying attention, you might incorrectly select that access point rather than the correct one that belongs to the hotel, and most likely the hacker will not have put a password for anyone to access that access point. And if you select that and you start browsing, basically what chances are is that the hacker can then intercept your data, and then they can just look at all unencrypted connections. So that's why if you use a VPN, you will be protected from such a scenario, and that is going to increase a lot the security of your phone basically. One other thing while we're at it is also that you see an option just below the VPN. It is the private DNS right here. I highly recommend that you set this to automatic, or you specifically set it to, let's say, the private DNS name, and then you give the host name. If you don't know what the setting means, it's fine. Just leave it on recommended, but don't put this off. Moving on to something very, very basic here, and that's super important, is the applications basically. Now, one of the main security issues that happen on people's devices is because they install unnecessary applications, or applications that were just maybe used once and then they never used again. And some of these applications have been notoriously known that they were actually malwares, and they were just siphoning user data. So one of the things that you want to do is that you want to go into the apps settings section, and you want to make sure that you want to go through this list, and you really want to make sure that none of these applications, there's no applications here that are not used anymore, or you don't know, worse, like you don't even know where they came from. So that way you want to do a sanity check against all of these applications that you have here. And if you see some application that you haven't used in a long time, or that's that you don't recognize, just go ahead, select it. For example, here I'm selecting Amazon here, and then just click uninstall here, and then that way you just get rid of the application. So that will significantly increase the security of your device. So this next setting is very simple technique to really increase the security of your device. You go into security and privacy, you go into the permission manager. You have a great view here where each category is listed basically, and it tells you the number of applications getting access to a given sensor or functionality. So for example, let me go into the microphone here, and you can see that microphone, there are 16 applications out of 39 on my phone that have access to the microphone. And I just, every now and then I go in here and I do a sanity check across all of these categories. And I'm just making sure, if all of these applications are rightfully, should be allowed to have access to the microphone of my device, so that there's no application that's actually snooping in. So for example, here I have ChatGPT. Why does it have access to my microphone? I just want to make sure that it should not get access to my microphone, because I only interacted with it when writing. So I'm just going to click here, don't allow, and that way now ChatGPT will not be able to use my microphone. This is a super important practice that you should incorporate. You should every now and then go in here and make sure that applications who are having to your photos, your videos, your notification, your storage, your contacts, go in here and do a sanity check. This is super important, and you will also considerably increase the security of your data and of your device by doing this. So here, the next setting that I'm going to talk about here is the Wi-Fi and the Bluetooth that you see here in the top left corner of my screen. Basically, turn these off when not needed. So when you leave your home, if you're specifically in public places like a restaurant, the mall, the airport, the train station, wherever, try to turn them off when they're not needed. First great thing is you're going to save battery. The second that is you're going to also reduce a lot the surface area of attack from a hacker who might be scanning for Bluetooth devices, all devices that are around them, and many types of attacks, without trying to go into the details of these, but many types of attacks use also these vectors to attack people. So make yourself more secure. Turn off both of these settings when not in need. The next setting is all about not allowing unknown apps to be installed. So to do this, go into security and privacy here, scroll down, go into more security settings, and in the following option here, install unknown apps, you basically want to make sure that no application here has been selected unless you have a very, very good reason to have done that. So if you do not even understand what this option is at this point, then generally speaking, you want everything to be deactivated here. Basically, what this option does is that it will allow some specific apps to install other applications without even prompting you. And obviously, you do not want that, because that is a big security threat. So make sure here that come here back regularly and make sure that no application is allowed to install unknown applications. Another setting that you want to also activate for unknown or untrusted application is in the Playstore application. So click on the Playstore, go into the Playstore application, open the settings here, go into Play Protect, and then click on the settings icon right here. And here you just want to make sure that both of these options are selected. The next setting that we're going to talk about here is related to the location and your device location specifically settings. So you go into security and privacy here, and immediately you will see an option here called Lost Device Protection on Samsung devices. You will have something similar for an non-Samsung or a more vanilla Android device, which would be in Settings, Security, and then Find My Device. So if you click here, basically the idea is simple. You want to be able to track your device in case you have lost it. So here you want to just make sure that you have selected this option here, allow this phone to be found. It is activated. And if you want even further more security, you can also click on offline finding. Now this one is a bit more, is going to be using a bit of your data in the background. It'll be sending more your location information to Google for their whole network and to help people find their devices. I will leave that to your appreciation of from a privacy point of view. If not, but this will definitely increase further the security of people finding their devices through your phone, or people finding your phone through their devices for those who have activated this option. Once again, read through the privacy setting here. When you activate this, I'll let you read that in your own leisure time. But definitely have the first option selected. That way you will be able to track your device. The security option that I want to talk about is to go outside of your phone. It's actually in your Google account. Select your Google account, click on the security tab, scroll down a bit and click on two-step verification here. And if this two-step verification is not turned on like it is right now on my screen, do turn it on. What this will do is basically is add another layer of security. That way, if someone even gets access to the password of your account, they will still not be able to basically log in, because a second code will be asked, and this code will change every time that an attempt is made to log into your Google account, and increasing a lot the level of security of your Android device, but also of your accounts. This next setting, I'm going to show you how you can further prevent malicious applications running programs or commands on your device when you receive, for example, text messages with pictures attached or other messages. To activate this protection, go into Security and Privacy, scroll down and come into Auto Blocker. Now this setting is specific to Samsung devices. You'll have to check if your non-Samsung device offers this or not. You come into here and you turn this Auto Blocker on. Now what this will do basically is that it will protect your phone now going forward from some kinds of malicious attacks like I just mentioned previously. But also, one of the things that it will also protect you against is that you can see, for example, right here, blocks commands by USB cable. Now, this is very useful where, for example, if you are at an airport, once again, let's say, or a hotel or anywhere else where you're trying to charge your phone and you don't have a cable, and you have these automatic locations where you can charge your phone by plugging them in with the provided USB cable at that charging point. Well, some of these cables can have a special kind of cable that hackers use to actually pull in all the data from your phone without you knowing it. You're thinking that you're just charging your phone, whereas actually what's going to happen is that that cable with that charging station will actually just pull in all of your data from your phone. So this setting will actually help you prevent from being hacked in that way. While we're at it, I would also recommend that you activate the second option, which would block the software update. So if someone steals your phone or they're trying to get into it, then they'll try to run some other software from their computer having your phone connected to it, and in that case this setting will also prevent that. Now I'm going to show you how you can further enhance the security of your device, specifically around data protection, by creating a segregated folder and a complete environment protected by a password, so that all of your confidential data can be stored inside there. And even if someone has access to your phone, they still won't be able to get in to certain parts of your device and access that confidential data. Now, this setting is specifically for Samsung devices. So you go into Security and Privacy, you scroll down to more security settings right here, and you're going to click on this first option called Secure Folder. Okay, the very first time when you're going to come into here, it will start initializing this segregated environment for you. So we're going to press. Now, the segregated environment has been created. So now I'm going to put in a password onto it. Now that the password has been set on the folder, it's going to ask me if I want to backup plan to turn on my Samsung account just in case I forget the password so I can still get into this folder. So I'm just going to say cancel. I won't forget my password. That's fine. And now what's going to happen is that I'm going to click on next here. Once you've pressed next and you've gone through the series of different screens, you will eventually end up back on your main home screen, and you'll find there will be a new application that will be installed, which is this blue icon with the white folder inside it. This is your secure folder storage area now. So now I've just launched the secure folder environment, and you can see, for example, if I go into the camera app, well, and I just take on if I just take a picture of my keyboard here, you'll see that actually this photo is only going to appear now in my files because I'm in that segregated environment, and it's just now this picture right here. But this picture now will not be available outside of the secure storage. So any application, like any browsing I will do, all the history of that browser will be only inside this secure storage environment. Same goes for the gallery. If I go into the gallery, you can see that I have many photos on my phone, but because right now I'm in the secure storage environment, I can only see the pictures that are within this environment. I hope this helps. Okay, so this next setting is super helpful to increase the security of your overall device, specifically when you lend it out to someone so that they can, let's say, for example, watch Netflix on your phone. So the way you activate this and the setting, which is called app pinning. So the way you activate it, we go into settings here, you scroll and down and you select security and privacy. You scroll down a bit further and you go into more security settings, and then you scroll down a bit further and then you come right here where you see the setting called pin app. We're going to activate this, and we're going to make sure that the setting just below it is also, the option is activated, called ask for password before unpinning. Now what this will do is that there will be a new menu option that will appear. So for example, let's say that now I want to give my phone so a friend of mine can watch Netflix with my account. So once I launch this app, I go back into the overall view for Netflix here, and I'm going to click on the app's title here, and I'm going to select pin this app. Now, once this app has been pinned, you can see the prompt appear at the bottom to confirm that. The great thing now is that the user will not be able to come out of this application. I can just swipe. I'm swiping a lot from bottom to up to go somewhere else on the phone, but you can see that this is not happening, right? And the only way to do this is how the message, that toast that appears that says to unpin this app, you need to swipe up and hold. And if I do that, basically the phone will lock itself and the user will be prompted for a password. Devices like the Pixel and Sony and other phones, non-Samsung phones. Sorry, Samsung users, you don't have this option on your phone. And what this option does is basically, it's just like on a computer when you can create multiple user accounts and that have all their data that's segregated from each other. Well, you can do the same thing here on Android, and that's fantastic because typically, if you want to go out and give your phone for a while to someone, and you want to give them the ability not to be blocked in just one app, but they can use a phone just like a regular user. Well, you can do that. And how this works is basically the following way: you click on settings, you go into the search settings here, and you're going to type the word guest. Okay. The first option that appears is the one that's of interest. You click here, system multiple users, and you select allow multiple users. Now what's going to happen is that you're going to see this option that appears calling titled add guest. So if you click on this, basically what happens is that the phone goes into another mode and is going to create this temporary account, and it will kind of log you off from your main account. Then you can just, once you have set that up, you can just give this phone to anyone. They'll start using this. And once they're done, when you get it back, you are going to be able to get back to your account by just looking up the word guest again, but this time you're going to click on exit guest mode. Now, the settings don't change here. We've come back to the same screen is because I haven't activated the guest mode here. The reason being is that if I do that, basically the recording will stop. And that's why. But basically, that's how it works. And you should definitely use this setting because it's going to be very helpful for you in terms of security. That if you're giving out, if you often hand out your phone to your kids or whatever, actually this will avoid any incorrect setting change on your phone, launching some apps or whatever. So your data will be super safe by doing this. All right, guys, I hope this was helpful. Let me know what you think about it in the comments. As always, leave a like if you enjoyed this video, and I'll catch you in the next one. Thanks for watching, guys. Take care. Bye-bye.